Sleep Dealer is a science fiction set in Mexico, and it basically uses the genre of science fiction to look at a lot of political issues and realities that we're confronting today, but kind of imagined 5 minutes into the future.
In the future, the water is controlled by a global corporation and that sells the water back to its to its citizens at extremely high rates. And so, what my job is to protect the corporate assets, and I do that via a drone, and which I pilot across to different parts of the world to take out targets that in any way threaten their profits.
The story starts with a young man in Mexico named Memo Cruz, who's a dreamer. He's born in a little village and wants to basically get out. It's kind of like all of us who, wherever we're born, we want to get out. That's his circumstance. And so he's basically trapped in this little dusty village, which is kind of an ancient place. Even though the film takes place in the future, this little Mexican village looks like it probably looked 100 years ago or 500 years ago. And he dreams of getting out and dreams of getting close to technology. And so the film kind of follows him as he leaves this village, goes into the city, and confronts in one way or another this world, which is very divided, very violent, and so kind of absurd that it's a lot like the world we live in today.
I play Luz, and Luz is a young writer, a wannabe journalist, and she kind of left her family. She's been traveling a lot, and she finds herself in Tijuana, which is a place where a lot of immigrants come. The border has obviously been, much harsher, and that wall that we're building in the future is, really, really present. Immigration doesn't happen anymore. People just work at factories and kind of export their work power abroad. So she's there to sort of report and sort of create a dialogue, create a connection with her stories. And what she does is she connects herself through her nervous system to the internet, and she downloads her memories. It's called TrueNet, which is really not that far from our reality nowadays.
It's a world in which borders are closed, a world in which American companies kind of control a lot of the world, a world in which there's kind of war and anti-terrorist operations that are very reckless. And so in a lot of this future that the Sleep Dealer puts forward, we can see the present reality that we live in.
I think it's one of the appealing things of the movie, is how this is in the future, but how it's really not that far from our reality. It's really not that far that water will become a precious necessity that will become a luxury for many.
I love ideas, and to me that's why I got into film, was to try to find a way to bring ideas to new audiences. And that's kind of the contradiction, or that's the rub in my films. I'm always trying to bring what to me are heavy ideas, political theory, some analysis, and a kind of critical point of view, but wrap it like a Trojan horse, wrap it in a beautiful aesthetic, wrap it in digital technology, wrap it in hopefully some sense of humor. And so I try to create films that are delightful to experience in one way or another, but that make you think.
He's a geeky kind of guy, so he had a lot of info,
yeah,
right?
He had a lot of information to give us, so different links and websites to go on,
and he knew lots of stuff, and he was like, had a really detailed vision of what water meant, of what connecting to the internet meant, of what immigration meant, and he had like a little short film that he had on his computer, right?
Right. Yeah. When I first met him, he showed me some little clips that he created, little QuickTime files that he kind of they were hand drawn, and he actually put his own voice and played different characters, and
it was amazing.
And it was pretty amazing to watch.
And it was full of information for us to draw from.
Yeah.
As you can see, he's still dealing with it.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with it.